house. When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to Around the House with Eric G. Pro Insider. This is where we talk about stuff for the building contractor, interior designer, or maybe you work in sales and marketing in the residential construction field. This is for you. Well, I am back from Design and Construction Week. This is in Orlando, Florida. If you have never heard of it, it is something that you should check out next year in 2023 when it shows up in Orlando. Actually, it's going to be in Las Vegas, not Orlando next year. My bad. So this is going to be a great show next year. We just finished it up here last week, but this year in 2023, what that's going to be is it's going to be the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, the International Building Show, and the National Hardware Show, all co-located. So we're going to have all three shows, one location, which means you're going to have everything from hardware, tools, kitchen and bath, building materials, siding, windows. It is going to be quite the extravaganza. Well, I will say where we're at today with trade shows is they're back. This was a very busy show. Now, of course, attendance was down from its heyday. Of course, there were people that backed out of the show and didn't show up. So there were some empty booth spaces. And there were some companies out there that quite frankly misplayed their hand and only brought 10% of what their booth should have had. And they really lost out. They gambled and lost. So this was a great show for our building community. And what was so exciting was education was such a hit. I had the home technology zone, so I was talking home tech to builders, designers, remodelers, and really trying to get people going on the 101 of home technology. Now, home technology was not smart home tech as, electronic doorbells and stuff like that, but just technology that's within your home. That could be finishes. It could be a lot of things. So that was a nice wide, discussion point. And then we were in the West Hall and the South Hall on the other side of the whole complex. We had the high performance building zone where we had a bunch of experts over there talking about high performance building, and that was a really great conversation. But the great thing was those zones were jammed. I had people that were sitting on the ground because there was no chairs. I had hallways blocked up, kind of the outside the area on the trade show floor because we were on the main floor. And we were jammed up where the aisles were completely blocked around it, standing room only. And that was really, really great to see for our industry, to see that starting to pick up. And there was a lot of great products that were out there, a lot of cool things, and a lot of cool technology out there as well. There was a ton of different management software options for builders, remodelers. There's a new one coming out that we featured that is just getting ready to roll out. And this is going to be exciting because it's not only your kind of systems that run your company with all the forms and quotes and stuff, but it's also going to manage how you do your work and make sure that that is going to be efficient work. And those guys are called Foresight. So foresight.tech, Foresite.tech. Now, those guys have got something coming out here in a few months. They'll be bringing it out. It was not ready for the show because, of course, like all startups, it's like when you're cooking a pizza. It's done when it's done. And they are close to bringing that out. But that's going to be something exciting and new out there. And so we had a lot of fun doing a bunch of roundtables and discussions, as well as on the Around the House show we recorded over at the Brown-Newtone booth, DuPont, and Sashco. So those were all great people. And if you've never used Sashco or heard of Sashco, you should head over to sashco.com and take a look at all of their caulkings and finishes and things that they have over there. If you don't like going out and doing any caulkbacks where the caulking failed on an exterior or interior, they have a solution for you. And it's another great product out there. But really, what was exciting to me for our trades out there was that things were busy. Things were back to normal, and education was key. Now, there were some groups, like we talked about earlier, that an appliance manufacturer, which I like these guys, so I'm not going to dog on them. They just misplayed their hand. They put the booth up, but didn't have a single appliance in their booth. That was a mistake. But there are other people like Murphy Door that brought in all their doors, had this amazing booth set up, and it was stellar. So you really kind of have to look and say, okay, these guys gambled and won. And with 70,000 people there, that was a killer show for everybody. So coming up, I really want you to think about some stuff. There's JLC Live coming up, which has some things. It's by no means anywhere close to the size of this. That's the little baby show compared to this big show. But there'll still be products and stuff there that you'll want to hit, especially if you're in that Northeast area. That's really a Northeast geared show in Providence, Rhode Island. But really with that, pay attention to these shows, pay attention to the things that you're doing out there, and make sure you're getting that continuing education so you can see all the new products. I mean, we were broadcasting from the Brone booth, and there's a fan in there, and full disclosure, I've been a Panasonic guy for 15 years. I've used probably thousands of their bath fans over the years. And Brone NuTone has a new fan that has Bluetooth, humidity sensors, all these kind of things, control the light. And if you're remodeling, you don't have to actually run a control wire up to do it. It uses Bluetooth technology. So you just run a constant power up to the fan. So you don't even have to have a switch there. You bypass the switch. So you've got constant power to the fan unit. And then where the switch goes, you put their little control box in there that looks just like a switch, just like a Decora switch, but there's no wires hooked to it. And that runs the fan up there. So you have full function without having to tear out that ceiling and put extra wires in to control it. So these are things that you're starting to see where things are going to really start paying off with. And we'll be talking about that a little bit on this weekend's show on Around the House with Eric G and Caroline B. But there were a lot of solutions at this show, so make sure you pay attention to our show here on the show as well this weekend as the following weekend. We're going to have a lot of great products and a lot of new things for you to take a look at. So this not only will be good for the homeowners, but it'll be good for you as the business owner, builder, remodeler, framer, whatever. We're going to be diving into that. As well as we did a lot of thanks to Milwaukee Tools, we built out the entire set in 3 days. But I tell you what, it was one of those things that we got to use all the new and latest Milwaukee stuff. And I do love that framer there. It's a little heavier than what a air framer is, but no cord. And the battery just kept going and going and going. So we did everything on that set construction, building a 15 by 30 stage with walls that were finished. And the saws, we never had to change battery. I think we had to change battery on the air nailer once, and that was it. So talk about something you can use 3 days straight. We never had to charge that saw, and we used that for 3 days straight. So, again, great technology, as well as that a lot of those things had one key, so you sure can't take it away and steal it. All right, everybody. Well, that's enough for this little quick Pro Insider. We're going to be bringing in every other week now. I'm going to start bringing some guests on so we can get some stuff on this show with some deeper dives. So stay tuned for that. See you in 2 weeks. And you'll catch me on the radio on Around the House with Eric G and Caroline B. As always, thanks for tuning into the Pro Insider. Thanks for listening to Around the House.
Somewhere unseen and undiscovered, anywhere beyond the mean. Life is a love song, let's be lovers.